You know, sometimes I feel like if you would just ask yourself one more question, you will get to the solution of most of your problems in life. Okay, no, that's a bit of an over exaggeration. Like maybe not most of your problem in life, but like one or two problems. One, well, at least one. At least you will solve a list. You know what? Just let's take a look at some magic, and then I'll explain better. All right, welcome back to Magic Isn't Real, the place where I normally try to replicate the claims of the supernatural with my very natural skills. Now, if you're new to this channel, I welcome you. Please consider subscribing and sharing the page. Now, can I suggest that you also maybe check my previous content, because this video is a bit let's call it off the rail. You know, it's a little bit of a different video that that I want to do. As you can see, I'm kind of dressed casual. I'm not wearing my usual suit and stuff because I want to make it clear that this is a bit of an off-brand type of video, and it's only because I'm trying to keep the channel alive with some content while I try to figure out how to make the channel better, how to present better content, how to do better marketing, the whole spiel. In the meantime, I've been doing this type of weird ranty / rambling video because some of you seems to like them, and I enjoy doing this type of videos a lot. The problem is that I know that they're not really super appealing, or at least I know that they're not for everybody. I know that people want content that is like heavily edited, and then there's so much production value into it. You know, you go to location, you perform crazy magic tricks and stuff, which is normally what I would try to do, and it is also where I'm trying to get this channel at, but I'm still working on how to get there. In the meantime, you get this weird stuff, which is, why don't you ask yourself one more question? Let me be clear. I was trying to figure out a better way. So I want to promote skepticism with this channel, okay? You should look at critical thinking, you should look at logical fallacies, you should do all this stuff, but at the same time, how can I simplify kind of what it is to be a skeptic? But also, I mean, I made a whole video about, you know, what skepticism is for me, which is surprising what it is for most real skeptics, and I made a whole video about it. You can go check it out. And I touch upon another little weird ranty video that I made a couple weeks ago, which you should also check. But today I just wanna mention to you something simple. I realized that sometimes some people are one question away to just realize the biggest mysteries in their life. Let me give you a few examples. So a month ago, I was hired to do a corporate event, a private party, which is something that I normally don't do. The reason why I don't normally do them is because for this type of private parties and corporate event, you really have to, like, I cannot show up at a corporate event or like a private party, first of all, dressed like this, which I wouldn't do normally, but like I can't show up like dressed like this, and I can't start going with the material that I use on this channel, you know? I can't start going and spill out my own thing, just like, oh, by the way, magic isn't real. Let me tell you why magic isn't, like, no. If you do like a private corporate thing, you need to adapt your material for what they want. They're hiring you to entertain them. They're not hiring you for you to preach about what it is that you want to preach about. Unless that's what they hire you for, which it's not gonna happen. So anyway, in this particular case, it was even more interesting because I was hired by a traveling group of Jewish Orthodox people, so very, very religious people. So I kept my set clean. No dirty word, no dirty joke, and obviously no like jokes or even any content about, you know, atheism or stuff like that, which again I wouldn't normally do anyway, because, you know, I'm not here to change what you believe in. I'm just showing you what magic can do. Sometimes I see someone who's selling you a telekinesis course for a shitload of money, and I'm just telling you, hey, that looks like a magic trick to me. Look, it looks exactly like what it is that I'm doing. So maybe don't spend that money, keep it for yourself. That's it, that's all I'm doing. But anyway, long story short, I was hired to do this private gig for a group of very religious people. So I kept it just on like entertaining, magic trick, clean jokes. I can do that. I don't like to do that, but I can do that. Also, I needed the money, so I absolutely can do it. What I'm getting at is that at the end of my performance, so I've done a little bit of card magic, I've done some mentalism, and stuff like that. At the end of my performance, this guy reached out to me and he goes, to be fair, I thought he was joking, but it turned out he was dead serious. He reached out to me and he goes like, hey, but can you actually do like a proper prediction? And I'm like, what's a proper prediction? He literally said, could you predict the lottery numbers? I thought he was fucking with me, but no, he was that serious. He wanted to know if I could use my abilities to do some sort of prediction, such as like the lottery numbers and stuff. I told him that I at this, when people ask me these direct questions, that's when I become honest, and I'll be like, listen, I don't have any special abilities. I don't have any supernatural or any special abilities. All I do is sleight of hand and sleight of mouth and like psychological tricks. If you want me, I can even show you how I did most of the stuff if you don't believe me, like legit. And he was like, oh, okay, got it, and he left. Now, after that, I suddenly realized, dude, ask yourself one more question. Would I be doing your private party if I could do such prediction? Really? I was waiting for you to tell me to predict the lottery number. Just ask. Sometimes people need to ask yourself one more question. Why would I, if I had this ability, why would I be doing private party in your thing? And let me tell you now another story, because this happened kind of back to back. And this is where I got this idea of like, people just need to ask themselves one more question. Like, you're almost there with your skepticism and stuff. Just ask yourself one more question. Like, here's another example. I was at the gym talking to this girl, right? And she was telling me how she went to do this, like, what is it called? This like Reiki therapy because she had a pain in her shoulder. And then she told me like, it didn't really do much.
No shit.
Anyway, I'm not here to change your beliefs. So she was asking me, what do I think? And I was honest, and I was like, listen, as far as I know, and in all my years of like researching this topic and doing magic, I don't think that healing with energy is a thing at all. I might be wrong, but so far I haven't seen it. And she told me this was her response. She goes like, actually, what I think it is that I think that the real healers, you cannot really find them. Like, I think that the real healers do not really charge you money for it, I don't think you will find a real healer like on Facebook, or like, I don't think a real healer would have a website where he sells like healing sessions. I think a real healer will be like someone that you need to go and find, it has to be like by word of mouth, and you go to like a place and you find it. And I'm listening to this logic, right? Which is not bad. But at the same time, I'm like, ask yourself one more question. Such as, what is the difference? Why would a real healer not charge you money or not have his own website or her own website? Like, why can't you ask yourself this other question? Why would you rather think that the person that healed you, who didn't work, by the way, it's a fake because the real ones are hiding in a forest or something? Ask yourself one more question, such as, maybe there are no real healers. Have you considered that? Sometimes I feel like people's skepticism gets to like a certain point, and then it gets interrupted by your need to believe that this stuff exists, which is fine, except when it gets to a point where it might hurt you. Your need to believe that this stuff is real got you to spend that money in the first place, which was wasted because it didn't help you. And now you're a little bit more skeptic, but you still want to believe it so much that you put in weird filter, or you are refusing to ask yourself one more question. So in this weird little ranty video, what I'm casually telling you today is that if you want to start your journey into proper skepticism, you don't have to like study philosophy and logical fallacy. You don't have to, you have to eventually, you'll have to be there, critical thinking, etc. But if you don't know where to begin, hear me out. Here's where you begin. Always ask yourself one more question. And when I say always, I mean always, because in reality is that ask yourself more questions, plural. Like, keep on going, don't stop. Like, if someone says to you, oh, I can't demonstrate my abilities to you right now because the energy is not right, great. Ask yourself one more question. When is the energy right? Is the energy ever gonna be right? Like, how long can we do this before I ask the question, do you actually have these abilities? Like, keep on asking yourself these questions. Like, recently, I have to tell you something, and I'm not bashing on anybody, but recently some of you have reached out to me privately on my DMs on Instagram. Some of you have responded, some of you I'm ignoring, and I'm ignoring for a specific reason, because it's starting to be a bit weird. Like, some of you contact me with like with the proofs that they can show to me these real abilities, and then it becomes a complete shit show. I'm sorry. From now on, if you're gonna DM me privately, you better be ready to, first of all, be questioned, because I always ask one more question, and be ready to be tested properly. You cannot just send me a video, one video, and go like, oh, look at that, how do you explain that? I don't. But you know what I want? I want you to tell me what it is that you're claiming, and I want you to now go through another test. And if you're gonna attack me and say like, oh, see, you're never gonna believe it and whatever, and I'm asking you, no, I'll believe it, show me this thing. And then it takes you a month to respond, only to tell me that at this moment you can't really show me this. Just please don't DM me. Anyway, all I wanna leave you with today is, please ask yourself one more question. One of you, and I'm not gonna mention any names, has told me that his ability work best when you are under LSD. Ask yourself one question, and maybe check out what LSD does to the brain. And I'm gonna leave it at that. If you're still here and you're still watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know that these videos are very weird, and I apologize. And if you're still here, please prove it to me by writing down LSD. I shall see you next time on my and I can talk. I shall see you next time on my next video. Next. I cannot say the word next. What's going on? Anyway, peace out. Thank you so much. Bye bye.